More eyeballs. More eyeballs. What do you think that means? Let's make a prediction. Chapter 6 is titled More Eyeballs. Now with everything that we've talked about, what do you think is going to happen? Let's find out next. Miss Cuddy was staring at the TV with her mouth open. She didn't say anything, but I could tell she was really angry. She made both of her hands into fists and looked like her eyes were on fire. "Those dirty, rotten," she was mumbling to herself. Then she started shouting, "How dare they start up a TV station at Dirk's school the same day we start our TV station? That is horrible. I won't stand for it." She was really freaking out. I thought she was going to throw something. I had never seen a grown-up get so mad. That's when Mr. Clut's voice came over the loudspeaker. "Great job with the morning announcements, kids," he said. "I was watching in my office. Terrific, AJ. And I just heard that 54 people in town were watching you at home." "How many people were watching at Dirk School's morning announcements?" asked Miss Cuddy. 60, said Mr. Klutz. "No!" shouted Miss Cuddy as she fell to her knees. She looked like she had just seen the earth destroyed by a meteor. "I can't believe those Dirk jerks beat us," she moaned. "Does it really matter how many people tune in to watch us?" asked Andrea. So that's Miss Cuddy all upset. Let's see what happens. "I mean, it's just the morning announcements," Miss Cuddy jumped to her feet. "Of course it matters," she shouted. "We are winners at elementary school, and don't you forget it. Nobody beats us. We're number 1. I didn't go to film school for 4 years to come in second." She started panicking, back and forth, pacing back and forth. "We need more eyeballs," she muttered. "How are we going to get more eyeballs?" That was weird. Why would she want more eyeballs? Aren't 2 eyeballs enough? Miss Cuddy is nutty. "Do you mean we need more people to watch our morning announcements?" asked Andrea. "Yes," Miss Cuddy replied. "We need to do something tomorrow morning that will blow Dirk School out of the water." "Why is everybody always talking about boats?" "We could get a funny hat and have AJ put on a fake nose and glasses," suggested Michael. "No, Dirk already did that," Miss Cuddy said, still pacing back and forth. "We have to come up with something new and different, AJ. Do you have any special talents that nobody else can do?" "I can make armpit farts," I told her. "That's a special talent. AJ is good at telling jokes," said Ryan. "He told jokes in the middle of the talent show." "That might work," said Miss Cuddy. "AJ, tomorrow morning I want you to come in here with your best jokes." "Does that mean I don't write the scripts anymore?" asked Andrea. "You help with the lights tomorrow," Miss Cuddy told Andrea. Andrea looked all mad. I stuck out my tongue to her to make her madder. Ha! I would be in front of the camera while she would have to go lug lights around. This was the greatest day of my life. Okay, so now we know that the more eyeballs meant that we needed more people to watch elementary school's TV show versus Dirk School. So now we're going to find out what else happens. The next title for Chapter 7 is But Seriously. I wonder what that could mean. Let's find out. I spent that night practicing my jokes. The next morning, everybody was running around like crazy to get ready. I sat behind the desk. My face felt sweaty. Emily tried to powder my nose, but I told her to leave me alone. "Okay, let's do this thing," shouted Miss Cuddy. "Are you ready, AJ?" "Yeah." "I can't hear you." "Yeah." 3, 2, 1, said Alexia. The red light lit up. "Action," said Alexia. "My name is AJ, and I hate the morning announcements," I said. "Why do we have announcements anyway? We might as well sit at home and tell jokes instead." By the way, speaking of sitting at home, my dad used to work at a calendar factory, but he got fired. Do you know why? "Why?" everybody shouted. "He took too many days off," I said. "Hey, do you know what's bad for your health?" "What?" everybody shouted. "Too many birthdays," I said. "What did the Earth say to Mars?" "What?" everybody shouted. "Get a life," I said. And speaking of dead things, do you want to know some of my old dead batteries? They're free of charge. But seriously, folks, What did the tie say to the hat? What? Everybody shouted. You go on ahead. I'll hang around, I said. Hey, speaking of hanging around, my mom said it was outstanding because I stand outside a lot. And speaking of being outside, basketball sure is a messy sport, isn't it? The players dribble all over the floor. And speaking of messy things, did you know that watermelons have really fancy weddings? Well, they can't elope. I told a few more jokes, and then Alexia gave me the sign so that it was almost up. Well, that's our morning announcements for today, I said. This is AJ signing off. You stay classy, elementary students. And cut, shouted Alexia. The red light on top of the camera turned off. Great, AJ, said Miss Cuddy. I'd like to see Dirk's school top that. She went over to change the channel to Dirk morning announcements. That girl Morgan Brocklebank was on the screen again. She was wearing sunglasses. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, she said. At that moment, colored lights began to flash. A drum machine started to play, and then Morgan Brockleback started rapping. I pledge allegiance to the flag, 'cause if I don't, it's such a drag. Flags are red and white and blue. They are, I have no clue. She was rapping her own pledge, shouted Miss Cuddy. Our beautiful and spacious skies, mom and picnics, apple pies, digger amber, waves of grain, purple mountains, fruit and plain, broad stripes and brightened stars, Super Bowls and fast cars. To the republic for which it stands, now it's time to all join hands. Star-spangled banners wave for the free and the brave. We pledge allegiance to our flag, and when we're done, we'll go play tag. Woof! Could you imagine Miss Halpern rapping the Pledge of Allegiance and adding in her own mix? I can't. Have a great day at Dirk's school, shouted Morgan Brocklebank. Miss Cuddy looked like she was going to explode. That Dirk kid did a rap version of the Pledge of Allegiance, she shouted. Why, we didn't think of that. A few minutes later, Miss Patty came in to give us the bad news. 80 people had tuned in to watch the Dirk school announcements. Only 60 had watched ours. No, shouted Miss Cuddy, falling to her knees. They beat us again. I'll do better next time, I promise. I'll have the whole weekend to work on new jokes. No more jokes, Miss Cuddy shouted as she got up. Dirk school makes their morning announcements fun and lively. Our show has to be entertaining. So I have made a big decision. We'll need to bring some fresh blood around here. Fresh blood? Gross. Why would anybody bring blood to school? If one anchor is good, 2 anchors would be twice as good, Miss Cuddy said. So starting Monday, AJ, we're going to team you up with a co-anchor. And that co-anchor will be Andrea. What? So this is Miss Cuddy being all upset that Dirk School beat elementary school with their TV station, that more people watch Dirk School. But now, AJ, instead of only being by himself for the morning announcements, will be with a co-anchor, which means almost another anchor person. And it's going to be Andrea, which is his arch nemesis. So let's see what happens. So tomorrow, we're going to read chapters 8 and 9. So the chapter 8 is called The Worst Day of My Life. Let's see what happens. Make your predictions. Have a good night.